Hello, I'm Cameron Davey, Partner Solution Architect at Talend. This presentation will showcase the integration of Talend and Databricks. The combination of Talend plus Databricks allows you to automate the mundane and enable the incredible. By automating server configuration, upgrades, coding, and more, customers can focus on doing things that were previously out of the question, things like machine learning, data science, and AI. They can focus on the business opportunity. They won't waste time with system configuration or complex low-level coding. And there's no elaborate coding knowledge required. Customers can use existing staff and advanced tools to get it done right and quickly. And you can use Talend to leverage the real power and value of serverless Spark environments. There is no server to provision and manage. The environment will elastically scale up and scale down during runtime as the volume of data being processed changes. And the environment will autoscale its available resources when the jobs start and stop, minimizing idle time and keeping costs down. This is where Talend can help. We have more than 900 connectors and components that can be used. And by the way, they're all included in the platform. That allows you to connect to all of your cloud or on-premise data sources easily and without any extra charge. As your project gets more complex, maybe you want to introduce data quality or data governance capabilities. Talend has those available inside its platform to help you with the most complex projects. For machine learning offloading or for other types of more advanced analytics where you want to offload some of that processing or large volumes of data into the cloud, Talend can help there as well. Maybe you want to do that inside of Spark. Talend can generate native Spark code and can run the jobs inside of the big data platforms to help augment and support analytic data sets that you might need in a data warehouse. And all the while, our pricing is simple. We're not charging for connectors. It's a very simple user-based pricing model that's easy to understand. This strategy results in a future-proof model that can start with simple projects and grow with you as needed to the most complex hybrid deployments. And here is where, from a technical point of view, Talend truly helps. With Talend, jobs are created in a drag and drop environment, removing the need to develop handwritten code. Talend converts those visually created jobs into native Spark code and stores those in a Talend managed repository for security and version control. Jobs can then be run ad hoc or via a schedule, and that code is deployed directly to the Databricks cluster to run natively in Spark. With Talend and Databricks together, you can make your data engineers more productive by enabling them to produce clean data sets faster. Data engineers can produce highly performant native Spark jobs without writing one line of code. Those jobs can be developed, tested, and put into production in a fraction of the time that it would take to write those jobs by hand. And they can run these jobs natively using a best-in-class processing environment from the original creators of Spark. We talked earlier about future-proofing your data engineering projects. What will those projects look like in 2020? By using Talend now and in the future, you can leverage click-of-a-button scalability all while processing high volumes of data. With serverless models, you can avoid the headaches of installations and upgrades. And with Talend, now and in the future, you can have an easy-to-use interface to automatically generate native code in a drag-and-drop environment. As new languages and components become popular, you can leverage Talend to align your projects to emerging trends without having to learn new programming languages or write a single line of code. Now let's take a look at a demo using Talend and Databricks together. Here we are in the Talend Studio, and you can see up here that we're using our Talend version 7.1, which is our latest release as of fall 2018, and the first release where we fully support Databricks. And in this example, I'm going to use Azure Databricks as my Databricks interface, if you will, and give a quick overview of what the Talend Studio looks like and what it does. On the left-hand side, we have the repository, which is the input bank, if you will, for all of our projects for using Talend. We have all of the jobs that we designed using our drag and drop designer. We also have our metadata repository, and this is where you can preset or pre-save connections to your favorite sources so that you can simply pull that out of the repository and drag it on to the canvas. On the far right-hand side, we have our palette. That is the bank of where we keep our over 900 different components and connectors that we have. So if you're doing things like, as you can see on screen here, things like data quality, so that's matching, standardization, survivorship, or machine learning types of activities, you can drag those components on screen as well onto the canvas to build out your job. I've mentioned it a couple of times already. In the top here is the canvas. This is where you drag and drop build your job. And then down below is where you have your interface to the job itself. As you can see here, this is where we get our interface to configuring our Spark job. Now with Databricks, All of the configuration for running on Databricks, in this case Azure Databricks, is done on one single screen. Very simple, very straightforward. In fact, all you need are three pieces of information. You need your Databricks endpoint. Again, remember that we're using Azure Databricks in this case, so we're using our Azure Databricks endpoint, the cluster ID, and then the token that we would use for that as well. It shows which version of Databricks we support, along with the version of Spark that we support as well. So all of that information is contained right here within the configuration screen. Now, coming back up top, we have our Spark job that we've built. Again, we're using Azure, so first thing we do is we have our Azure storage where we're pulling this data from. So we're pulling a file out of my blob storage out of a particular container. And in this particular example, we're simply grabbing a file out of blob storage and we're going to do some data quality tasks on it. So we're going to aggregate it, we're going to sort it, we're going to mask some of the data in there, and then we're going to output it to a particular location, again, back on our Azure Blob storage. So it's going to do all of that while running Spark, while running Databricks to process this job. So we come back over to our run side of things, and in order to kick this job off, very simply, we go to basic run, and we click run. So this job will now run. It's compiling this code. It's sending that native Spark code to Databricks in order to run, and that job will take that job and run it within Databricks. So if we come over to our browser, we can come over and we see that we have our cluster running here. And momentarily, as you can see that the cluster indicates that it is now running a job, or it's receiving a job in order to run. So we can go into the cluster. Once that has picked up the job and compiled the code, then it will run the job, and we can go into the driver logs in order to see that. So the job is now in the middle of being processed, so we can go over to our driver logs now, and this is all of the information coming from the Spark job that we just sent to Databricks to publish. So if we scroll down, we've got our standard output, our standard errors, and we've got our log4j output, which is giving us our information about the job that we just sent. And then soon this job will finish. We'll come back over to our Talend Studio, and it will tell us that the job is completed, as it has now. So we see exit code 0, that means the job has completed. So if we come now back over to our browser, we can go over to our blob storage interface. I'll refresh my browser here, and you can see that we now have the output file created. You can see down here's my timestamp down here, so November 22nd, 2:12 p.m. There's the creation of that file, and there's the output format of that output file that we created through our Spark job. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of using Talend with Databricks. Thank you.